A very good time from wherever you're watching, ladies and gentlemen. Now, politics is very, very interesting. And actually, with the power dynamics that we attach it to, you will never want to go a day minus trying to look at what is happening in politics. And actually, it sets the pace that our country is supposed to move with, especially now that all eyes are on the government. Everybody wants to see what is the government up to, what does it want to actually achieve. Meeting the intentions of the people is where the work comes. And so, welcome to this analysis. I want us to take some moment, and I have a very, very engaging analysis for you today. And I want to really, really welcome you on board. For those who have not joined us, don't miss the analysis that we give you. Very objective and very, very inspired. It's different from the others. We are unique. And so make sure you hit that subscription button and hit the bell, because we want you to be noted the moment we upload the videos and actually get you on board. Now, there is something that happened last year at a time like today. There is this summit or the assembly which was always convened in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where the African leaders, heads of state, always meet. And then it is always scheduled to take place in the month of February. So last year, it exactly happened at the same time. And I remember very well, President Uhuru Kenyatta, the then president, actually went with Raila Odinga to attend. And we read too much about it. And as a matter of fact, one of the reasons why Raila went to attend it is because, he is the African Union representative for infrastructural development. So still he holds that docket. Now, when you cross over, and we are now in 2023, our country is now having a new government in place. So last year we had that summit. Actually, it was complete with African leaders, including Raila Odinga. And I remember on that very day, President Uhuru Kenyatta was attending the meeting as the head of state for Kenya, and Raila Odinga was attending in the capacity of the AU representative for infrastructural development, And when back in the nation, it was things unusual. We had William Ruto. By that time, William Ruto was seriously campaigning like no others, nobody's business. He was campaigning left, right, and center. I remember on that very day, Ruto took campaigns and actually attacked President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I remember later, President Kenyatta came and tried to admonish whatever went through when he was away, and at the same time when Raila was also away. So when you look at how Raila is now actually making his moves, it will show you a different picture. And this different picture is very interesting to note, because why did he actually neglect attending the meeting? Let's just put his capacity as the AU representative. So why did he abscond? Absconding it might come with different interpretations. And the first interpretation is that he did not want to actually share a podium with William Ruto. And now you go down and trickle it down and try to see why didn't he want to share the same podium. That is now where the politics comes. And at the same time, when William Ruto was attending that meeting, what Raila was doing back at home, So he went to actually continue with this anti-Ruto rallies, and specifically he was in Kisumu. So look at how things have changed so fast. Look at how the politics is really much interesting, in as far as when you look at the power dynamics, you can actually connect and bring in the fact that power dynamics is a key way in which the politics can change within a twinkle of an eye. It can make the political landscape to see a totally different dimension and make us, have a different interpretation of everything that comes into place. But I want to take some few minutes and explain to you why Raila Odinga did not actually attend this meeting in his capacity as the AU representative for infrastructural development. The first thing that I'm really beginning to think, as you would put it rightly, is that, it wouldn't have benefited Raila Odinga to attend that summit, because in the first place, last year when he attended it with President Uhuru Kenyatta, it was a gain for him, because by that time, one of the interpretations was that, President Uhuru Kenyatta was introducing him to the other heads of state. By that time, we were only some months away from the general election. So for him, by that time, there was a bigger trade-off for his actually gain when he attended that meeting than what we currently see now. Suppose he attended it this year, today, it would have kind of demeaned his stature, because, the same leaders probably that maybe President Uhuru Kenyatta introduced him to last year would be again seeing him this year in the same capacity, and maybe there was kind of interaction which went overboard to an extent that, they were seriously expecting him to come on board. If he attended it, we wouldn't have been talking of a political gain, because any agenda that Raila makes, be it in his capacity as the AU or in his capacity as just Raila Odinga with his stature, there is political angle that is always attached to it. And so whenever he moves, whenever he represents that office, it is a political office. And when it is a political office, there must be some political gains that he makes the moment he appears for such a high voltage meeting. So that is the first thing. There would be no gain for him, yet in his senses, in his moves, in his quest, in his everything, he looks forward to get political gain and political standing. So there will be no gain. And then number two, it was being said, and actually it was really actually admitted that it was President Uhuru Kenyatta who actually championed for him to go for that post and actually facilitated him to be appointed. So it definitely means that, the man who made him is the man he failed with. Just like what Ruto did in the last year's assembly, when Uhuru and Raila attended it, Ruto took that day and campaigned President Uhuru Kenyatta, and actually used the platform to actually send serious messages. So right then, when you copy and paste it in 2023, the same thing, the same modality that Ruto used is the one that Raila is actually using. So instead, he went to Kisumu, and the Kisumu rally was anti-Ruto rally, which is the same thing. So it is power dynamics. So power dynamics can actually change the manner in which, even if Raila was to willingly go, it wouldn't have benefited him. There was no need for him, yet there was a bigger chunk of activity to be handled in the locals, And so for him, he took the power dynamics as something which gave him an opportunity to also replicate what Ruto did last year. So it's kind of a revenge in a manner, if you may call it, but, it wouldn't have been reasonable for him to attend. And then, based on the power dynamics that we are seeing it coming up with, he had not to go and he had not to attend. I don't know what you have from your side. I don't know what you think. There's this analysis I want to do. I was listening to how Ruto is actually planning to go for Uhuru Kenyatta. There's a handshake that is being worked upon between Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, and this one is so interesting. I don't know how it will end, but there's something I want to look at, and then I do that analysis. I think I have it already, and I just want to do it after some few minutes, and then I tell you what it entails, because this will be the most, we will call it the political move of the year, the first quarter of the year, that is 2023. So it's very interesting. I don't know if it will work, but it is something that I want to look at. So I'm giving you just in a moment. So for now, let's meet in that analysis.